Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Radio FreakJam.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Monday. We're back with the Radio FreakJam Unsigned sessions. And this week, I bring you another special. And when I say special, it's gonna be special. I've got Crash Transit with me, ladies and gentlemen. Say hello to the boys.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello, Jimmy. Hello, everybody.
So, do you want to introduce yourselves? Let's start with introductions. Who are you, gentlemen?
Hey, I'm the singer, Phil.
I'm the lead guitarist and rhythm guitarist, Pete.
I'm the bass player, Tower.
And I'm the other guitarist, Jimmy.
And where's the drummer?
He's, he might even chime in. Like,
Yeah,
we might get a little beep, beep, and he might show up. You never know. He's a drummer. Is he ever going to be on time? Is he ever going to... It's a drummer thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, contrary to what the job actually states. Like, drummer, timing.
Yeah.
He's
Where
only
is
just
that?
started loading the car up, has he?
Yeah. Like drummers all over the world.
Favorite money. Like,
So we're on, we're connecting to America. The internet's a little bit laggy here at the moment, so bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. But we're going to get through this. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to have an introduction to Crash Transit. So I'm going to start off playing a song, and I'm going to play the one that you guys have said you'd like me to play. So we're going to start off with Killer, and then we'll come back. We'll have a chat about Killer, and we'll move on from there and see where we go. What do you reckon?
Yeah, sounds great.
Let's do it. So this is Killer by Crash Transit.
Bet you didn't know that love's a killer. I guess I could have told you from the start. I bet you didn't know while you were falling in love. Pretty soon you'd fall apart. Bet you didn't know that love's a killer. Shouldn't let the kids try this at home. The more I see, all the less I wish that I'd ever known. You were gone. Unsure and too confused.
And we're back. That's Killer by Crash Transit there. Well, the awesome track, guys.
Thank you.
What you doing
Actually, it
with
was a
Pete?
little funny because
There was the darndest thing. Middle of the song, the guy just disintegrated. It's like,
he evaporated.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, he's back.
Oh.
Like,
I was stalling for time. He's here, reintegrated.
Yeah, what a great track that is. Really, really well recorded, really well performed, really well produced.
I was responsible for the entire thing. He was.
That thing was Pete.
Yes.
And so when we record, we do it at a place called Crash Lab Studios here in New York, which actually happens to be attached to Pete's house. And
Handy.
You'd think, except for the fact that it's a studio, and so his own band actually has to come in and book time, and like there's no special anything, even though it's his own band.
And there's this heat pipe that comes right here.
There is.
You just gotta walk in and duck.
So for all of us normal-sized people, you don't notice this heat pipe.
And it's painted bright fire engine red. And people, I say, mind the pipe, and they duck underneath it and go, oh, yeah, great.
Yeah.
And they turn around and go to walk out and boink straight into it.
But since I joined the band, people walk by and they see that pipe and go, oh, what a lovely silhouette of your bass player's face.
Because you're 6'4" like me. And how tall are you, Phil?
5'7".
And I'm 5'6", so it just skims my head. Just.
So full facial for Tower.
Or if the song gets too exciting and something, we're moving around a little bit. Oh, me apple!
Fantastic stuff. So, Pete produces and you record with Pete. Who writes the songs? How does that work?
Oh, wait. I'll field this one. The first record, we started off writing a record for a woman, for a fantastic female artist. Pete and I were working with this amazing artist, Karen Bella. And as we were writing songs with Karen Bella, this Nashville singer-songwriter stuff, we'd get done with the session, and then Pete and I would sneak off back into the studio and say, hey, let's check this out. We started writing songs together that were a little more aggressive than that Nashville singer-songwriter thing. And this secret record started to happen. And it became Crash Transit. And then we got the influence of these amazing artists. So Tower and Kevin and Jimmy are all amazing songwriters as well. So instead of it just being the Pete and Phil Club, everything got better because we had these amazing musicians. And so the writing process is actually pretty much a collaborative thing. Someone starts it, and then people get to add their own flavor to it. It's an unusual way of writing music, but anyone in the band can start writing a song, and then they throw it out on the plate and say, okay, what you got?
It's organic. I like the way songs grow in that form. And my wife and I were chatting earlier, and we came to the conclusion that Crash Transit, and this is a compliment, by the way, gentlemen, is Lenny Kravitz writing a grunge album.
Yeah. Basically.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You've got the sort of... your voice, Phil, to start with, is very reminiscent of Kravitz in some places. But you've got the darker undertones that he never really captured. He was more upbeat and bits and pieces like that. And it just, to me, it sounds like Lenny Kravitz writing a grunge album, which is a very good thing.
Well, we're lucky in the way that Tower comes from a big progressive rock background, Odd Times, and just beautiful progressions, whereas rock and roll has homogenized just a little bit in the way that there are only some acceptable chords or acceptable feels, and grunge broke that. They changed that, and they said, hey, we can do anything you want. And it's like, if you listen to Soundgarden, you listen to Alice in Chains, and they suddenly brought back the idea that you could play rock and roll any way you wanted to, as long as you brought it back to something that people could understand. And like you have hit the nail on the head. I'm a Southerner and I have a soulful voice, but I love rock and roll. Meanwhile, we have someone from the UK that plays rock and roll but loves music that moves people. And then we got this, powerful, like progressive rock guy that makes us all smarter because he's like, hey, why don't we try this in the middle of, I'm writing a blues song. He's like, haha, why don't we try this?
A lot of that's necessity because I don't know the blues song he's referring to. So, like, let's do Mustang Sally. What?
Is that in C?
C-I.
Where's the 1116 break?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm a big grunger. I love my Pearl Jam. I love the Soundgarden and the Alice in Chains. And Soundgarden and Alice in Chains are definitely two influences that I say I picked out on the next track I'm going to play. This is Man in a Cage. I love this track, guys. I really, really do. This is just balls out rock and roll. I've got the video that Pete sent me as well, so we're going to play that. So yeah, let's give that a go. This is Man in a Cage.
You go inside the cage. Cage goes in the water. You go in the water. Shark's in the water. Our shark.
Swim for your life, cause the tide is getting high. There's a blood stain in the water and a killer inside. All the pretty faces, all the pearly white. Farm boy in the city, they will eat you alive. Farm boy in the city, they will eat you alive. Farm boy in the city, they will treat you like a man in a cage. Cage in the water. A man in a cage. Shark in the water. God save your soul, see the eyes are black as coal. You're gonna need a bigger boat, you better do what you're told. All the many faces, all the smiles that bite. See them start to circle when a new one arrives. See them start to circle when a new one arrives. See them start to circle all around you like a man in a cage. Cage in the water. A man in a cage. Shark in the water. Oh no. friend.
Oh, Man in a Cage there by Crash Transit. These lads. So, Pete.
Us lads.
You lads. There's people in the chat room on YouTube. I don't know if you've seen that. You might want to check that out.
We can't see it now.
You've got Kevin Austin in there. You've got LCJ. That's the drummer. I thought it was your drummer.
Yeah.
He came on and said, "What the hell?" or something like that. So, Pete.
Yeah.
You and I, Pete, have been friends for a long time now. You mastered my original album back in the day, and you've played with covers bands with exes of mine and bits and pieces like that. What is there a big difference out there on the music scene as there is to over here on the UK?
Yes and no. Long Island, where we are now, there's music. I mean, before COVID and all that rubbish went down, you can see a band every night. Seriously, there's places 7 days a week you can go and see bands. A lot more jam nights here than there are in England. The quality of the jams, again, can be up, can be down, but they're all pretty good. I mean, lots of people go from one jam to another, probably like they do in the UK when they get time. The big difference over here is there's a lot of cover bands, especially on Long Island, and they're tribute bands, which is fine. I mean, you're never going to go and see the Beatles live because there's only 2 of them still alive, and they do it very well. They've got the instruments, they buy the vintage instruments. It's done perfectly.
They've got the hair.
But yeah, the only problem is over here, trying to get original music to be played is a pain in the... Well, it's nigh on impossible. There are a few places that we've played that will take original bands, but there's a place literally walking distance from here called Farrell's, and it's a great music venue, and it's all very well, great stage, great PA, lights the lot. It's a very good crowd, but they want to listen to Journey tribute bands and Guns N' Roses tribute bands. So if we went there on a Saturday night, they probably wouldn't book us for a Saturday night because even though we've got our own following, we're not playing covers. I mean, we do step a couple of covers into the live set, but that's the big difference over here. There are places obviously over there that have closed down that used to be music venues. There are still a lot of music venues over here, so I think the music scene is a lot livelier here than it is there. But as far as Long Island goes, it's like the tribute band this, tribute band that.
I'll tell you that it's that way. So my family is from New Orleans, and if you go to Bourbon Street on New Orleans, you will see all of Bourbon Street is nothing but cover bands, and that's just a trend in the United States that the bigger venues want not original music, and then you have to go off grid to hear original stuff. And I maybe it's always been like that, but it's more so now than ever.
So imagine what I was going through, coming from the prog rock jazz fusion end of things, where people really have a hard time getting gigs that way. You're doing some original
Jazz
or original prog, something in like 7, 8 or something. And there's that guy that's been at the bar since 2 that afternoon. Just raises his head. Hey, you know what he's skittered?
Free bird. We get that over here too.
Yeah.
Did you hear a note we just played? So, it's not easy.
No, it's not at all.
So,
Phil there
Tower,
are pieces.
Do you have plans to drag Pete's backside back to the UK and play some gigs over here sometime?
I've already threatened him several times.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, our drummer Kevin is like we call him Chaos, and it's like so. Chaos is has spent so much of his life in Europe, and so he's already making plans for dragging us to like Europe and doing our European. I think we'll be backpacking with instruments on our back.
Yeah, it's like I've got a couple of friends in the UK that I've told about this interview. This hopefully spread things around. Hi, Trevor. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Caroline. So hopefully they spread. Don't you wave at my phone. So hopefully, like, things will spread and we can get out there.
Yeah, I'd love to drag these guys over there.
Drag, I'll be leading the charge.
Yeah.
Right?
Again, when the idea first started, like all of a sudden it's like, yay, let's put on masks and avoid COVID.
Now obviously isn't the time.
Right. So, and it's actually not the time yet because we are delayed, but we're dropping the new album hopefully by the fall, late fall, or a Christmas present. And we have a new record that is, without a doubt, the best thing that we've done. It's
the best out of the two. Right?
But we all got to work together on this new record, and it's extraordinary. Without a doubt, the best thing that I've ever done.
They do say the second album should always be the better one. I don't always find that to be the case sometimes, because I sometimes find that passion.
Second album is.
No, but the second album should be the best one, because it's the time you've had to integrate, to lock together, to have the experiences together. Do you know what I mean?
Well, the difference between us is the first album was basically nearly all me and Phil on a drum machine. Phil did all the vocals, I did all the guitars,
and every instrument in the world,
every other instrument. So the guys who are in the band now, this album will have them all on it. It won't be.
And writing it.
And writing as well.
Awesome.
But the other thing about it is it was just our experiences. Now the second album is all of our experiences.
Mm.
And it's like having a first album again.
Tower, is that true? Or are them two really precious?
I have no idea what they're talking about. None. The funny thing is, when Phil called me to tell me about this group that they want to put together they already had the album recorded, and they wanted to get people for the live show. And I've been trying to work with Phil for years.
Long time.
And our schedules just kept going past each other. So I was in the tail end of a prog rock gig in Gettysburg. It was a Writers' Spring Festival. And I was playing with a band called Circuline. It was really, complicated stuff. And I was telling them before that playing that music is great, but I felt like I took a math test. It was really complicated. I had to think all the time where I am. But he sent me Man in a Cage on an MP3. Right. This is fun. This is fun. And driving back from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, straight to KJ Farrell's where we filmed the video.
Shot the video, yeah.
Yeah, I came straight there. I didn't even go home.
Yeah.
I went straight there. We did the video. It was so much fun. And as the band evolved into the lineup that it is now with the two-dimensional guy behind me, all these little flavors came in from our individual influences. Like 2DG.
2DG. Jimmy G.
Jimmy G. I didn't spell Jim wrong, thank you.
JYM.
Like, yeah.
See?
Yeah, see?
I got to check that.
YMCA.
You've got Kevin in the chat room saying that as far as the second album is concerned, be afraid, be very afraid.
Be very afraid.
And Kevin, I mean, we did demos in the lab, obviously, and then we took the demos and recreated them live with Kev playing live drums. And some of the stuff he plays is phenomenal.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a phenomenal drummer anyway. But when we went to the studio, he dropped some bombs in some of these things.
Kevin Austin is a weapon of mass destruction.
Absolutely, yeah.
And like what he adds, and that I'll say the same thing about Tower, and like working with these people, it's just what they add, and that's the beauty of just letting the people play their parts. And hey, we can edit and we can change it a little bit to suit, but it's like we work with these master class musicians that, hey, let them kind of write their own part. We can write a skeleton and then let them fill in the blanks. And Kevin has been pretty much the standout because like what he decides, his idea of drums is weapon of mass destruction. He's a force. Honestly, it's like it's a pleasure to work with this guy. Now hold on, let us not forget
Jimmy.
Yeah. So Jimmy has become the ringmaster. Jimmy is more musical in a how to make a good record. He is more musical than possibly any of us when it comes to what people want to hear. And so he takes these ideas and he wrangles them. He ropes them.
Yeah.
And and says, okay, we've gone too far this way, gone too far prog, gone too far country, gone too far like UK, like whatever, like gone too far jungle, like drums, like drum solo. He's like, stop, wrangle it, and make it a song. We can do all of it, but just make it make sense. That's what Jimmy does, and he makes our music make sense.
And he's a very good guitar player as well.
Absolutely.
And he's got a great voice. He can sing high easily.
Look at him, he's back there agreeing. You see his
that's
right.
Yeah. So you know we're talking about you, Jimmy.
He looks happy. He looks really happy. He does.
He's also drunk.
Right. We've talked about getting back to gigging. We've talked about Bourbon Street. I think the next song needs to be Whiskey Bar. What do you reckon?
Yes.
This is one I've actually played on the radio quite a lot, Lance. So thanks for sending it in. Again, a personal favourite. You have been a major part of my lockdown playlist. Just face it.
Thank
all
you.
right.
Thank you.
So here's Whiskey Bar.
Sorry, we did not do that. We didn't give you the virus. All right.
We had nothing to do with it. I want to make that clear right now.
Well, this is where I want to see you guys when this is over. All right, in a whiskey bar. Let's have a listen.
Yeah.
That's right.
On the inside, there's a dark side, another side of me. Sometimes intense, sometimes unkind. Ride the landslide to the high side when Jekyll's fast asleep to light the night side of my mind. It's like the face you wear when you're wearing out your welcome. It's like a vacant stare when you're staring at yourself and you see wanted,
Okay.
Sometimes technology just gets the better of you, and the player thinks a better song to play. That's how it was.
Yeah.
That was Who We Are. It wasn't Whiskey Bar, but it's a great song, and everyone in the chat loved it, so it's all good.
Good. One thing, talking of technology, the laptop we're watching you on now hasn't got a lot of charge left. So if it dies, can we reconnect using another computer?
We certainly can. What we'll do is I'll throw a song on or something like that, and we'll do a reconnect.
How about Whiskey Bar?
We're good now. We got another. We're at 28%. We're good for now.
Right,
so when the next song comes on,
We'll switch over.
we'll break the link here, and I'll just send me another link.
Cool. What I wanted to do was actually talk quickly with Phil about Status Joe, because again, Pete, you sent me a lockdown video to
Yes.
play,
Oh yeah.
which we did, and it was just again, you know, I don't know about you guys, but it's been amazing to see how musicians have taken to dealing with doing stuff online and getting together and still releasing music and putting stuff out there. And your guys, you know, with the Status Joe video lockdown, it's a good example of that.
Well, the first things first, you got to know that Pete and I we're a writing duo, and so my old band Status Joe decided that they wanted to do a new album, and so of course I went to my writing partner, and that's Pete. So Pete and I have been helping write the new Status Joe record, and we wrote a silly song, and then the second song we wrote for the record was called Lockdown. And then we did the demo, and then 2 weeks later, I swear to you, the world went into lockdown. And so the irony of the song Lockdown is it had nothing to do with the lockdown. And so we did the video because we were in lockdown. And very, very funny because, not. It was about getting in trouble with your old lady and her putting you in lockdown. And so it's my fault. All of this.
You're a prophet.
Actually, no, it's Pete's fault. All of this is Pete. He's English. He'll own it. He'll say, yes, this is my fault.
Speaking of Pete,
I think he's evaporated again.
Yeah, but I think it's like a Star Trek thing. He keeps getting,
more like Spinal Tap.
I mean, you're not near Roswell at all, are you?
No,
Just checking.
Actually, the town we're in is possibly worse than Roswell. If you haven't noticed, we have a 2D version of a band named herself. Well, that's what it. He went to get a beer. It's like, all right. So cheers, everyone.
Cheers. Oh, Ryan.
Cheers, chaps.
As long as we're on this subject,
Cheers.
yes. Our two-dimensional friend here is, as long as we're mentioning him, occasionally you see me putting the mask on. It's not really having anything to do at the moment with the current health situation. It's just that two-dimensional Jimmy has been in that shirt for the last 8 months.
Oh, yeah.
And he's killing me. It's like, you're killing me! I can't take it. Making my root beer curdle.
So we've got people in the chat room asking, can they buy a physical CD of the album anywhere?
Well,
Okay, so
I'm looking at him because I have no idea.
used to be yes, and then it was no. When the band changed hands, when we turned into the new band, some idiot that forefront the decided not to send physical copies to the places that you get them. That would be me. That would it was me. So, and then the digital copies, if you actually wanted a CD, you couldn't get it from these places. You can still get download, but you couldn't get a physical copy. We were only selling them at shows, and so maybe that's dumb and bad, and I'll send them copies. But we really want to, I really wanted to move on, and that's I'm excited for the new record, and you can download the old record, but there's that's my mistake. I should add more into things that physical copies that you can buy online.
Do you know what? A good friend of mine, Paul Miro, he does a lot of pledge work over here for his albums, and he sells a lot more physical things than he does download content. A lot of his fan base still want the CD. They still want handwritten lyrics. They want pictures. They want lyric books. They want all that sort of stuff that can go with it. And it goes down a storm. Obviously, his last one was during all of this, when physical stuff was a lot harder to do because the post and bits and pieces like that. So he went on download only and saw the problem.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. It's really. I could use some tips on how to do this. When you're hot, people want it. When you're not, your providers still say, "Hey, send me this, send me that, send me this." And you think it's not a big deal. And it's no one's buying the record. And then people say, "I want the record." No one's buying the record physically. And we were told that digital was the way. And then people said, "Oh, I want physical."
I think it's a problem, isn't it? When you've got such a worldwide view of releasing music now, where you're not just doing it to your country or to your area, you're doing it to the world. Across iTunes and Spotify, getting that message out to that many people is really hard, unless you basically give it away. Things like Spotify, where you're getting such a small amount for every play, and you've got to get 1 million plays to earn anywhere decent, recognisable money. Yeah. It's tough. It is tough out there, but I think people do still value physical. Vinyl sales in the UK went up the past 2 years. People are back buying vinyls now, records, which is great, and you still sort of go around our stores here, like the food stores, and they'll have a sort of a rack of vinyl. Stuff like Fleetwood Mac and Appetite for Destruction, all the classic albums, Bowie stuff, like Ziggy Stardust and stuff like that. But all on vinyl, and it's all going up. And I think people are coming back to that slowly.
You want to make a light speed, like a couple of 1,000 light speed records?
Sure.
Yeah. Light speed is the title of the next album.
Okay. Can we talk about why? Why Lightspeed?
Jimmy.
Yeah, the guy with the smelling shirt.
So
is there a meaning to it, or?
No, I wrote some lyrics, and sometimes I write lyrics and I throw it out to the band. I have no music for it whatsoever, and Jimmy saw the lyrics and he wrote the beginnings of some music. The band picked it up, and it turned into something pretty special, and now it's the title song of the new record.
Okay, so it's the song on the record itself as well.
Yeah, right. And Ian, as a songwriter, you'll know some of the demos we did, just me and Phil, that we gave to the rest of the band. Listening to those songs now, after we've played them live, they've morphed into something so much bigger and better than the original ideas.
First and foremost, there's a killer drum groove that inspired everything that I did. So, people would say at the end of the show, they liked the song. That was a good bass line. It's like, blame the drummer.
Yeah.
Blame the drummer.
I had nothing to do with that. That was
just
all
following him.
Yeah.
But some of the way that I'll sing something, it's like, blame the bass player. Like honestly, the band is really amazing at building stuff and everyone grooving on. We'll change things based on one thing that someone will do, and when you'll hear a tune like on the new record Legend or a song called Doggone, it's like it changed as it was being written, as it was being rehearsed.
It morphed into something better.
Because for rehearsal one, the idea was everyone was an apex predator. There are no egos in this band because it's like really good players, and so we have a playing field that there's no bad ideas. We don't have to agree on everything, but everyone is an apex predator, and so we didn't have to have that fight of who was good and who was bad. And it's like everyone was really good.
So we're getting stuff in the chat room. People want to know, what are the bit rates on the downloads? Are they as good quality as CD?
There's been no trouble with the downloads. They've just been hard to find. We only work with two with two entities, and but it's not.
When you say bit rates, are you talking about MP3s?
I would imagine people want to know what sort of rate the MP3s coming down.
Are they MP3s?
Yeah, I believe it's MP3.
They are MP3s,
and so it is what it is, and so it's not. It shouldn't be a problem.
So they're probably high quality. What 195 is it? 195 hertz, whatever
something
it is.
like that. I can't remember. Yeah, because obviously CDs WAV at 44.1.
Yeah,
but we didn't skimp on anything quality wise. See, this is what Phil does when I start talking technical.
MP3 compression has got so much better over the years. It's improved.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's come on in leaps and bounds.
Gone are the days of crispy cymbals and stuff. I think your camera's frozen on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
So you can also hear this very faint flat line.
It's interesting because I'm a firm believer that these days we have to know this stuff, as not just as producers but artists as well, because it's become so important. That's what you got to compete for.
Right.
Well,
he has to know this stuff.
I have to know this stuff.
And I come in with some of the dumbest ideas, and like Pete is really my translator. Like there's some beautiful stuff that has happened with me playing 3 notes and going okay, and then having to sing what I think the idea is because I can't play them. It's like I'm a very limited guitarist or whatever it is, but I hear the music in my head. And so enter Pete or enter Tower or enter Jimmy, and I can play something simple. And then these...
So he's back to nodding again.
What do you need to do to reconnect us? Because this Mac's about to die.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm sling on a song and then go back to... I'll disconnect this. Then just join that link again as we did before.
Same one, yeah?
Yeah, same one should be fine.
Great stuff. All right, mate. I'll just log on.
Hey, how about Whiskey Bar?
Oh, all right, I'll play Whiskey Bar. I'll do that. I'll do that now. I promise you. Here's some Whiskey Bar for you now.
Like I said, we're gonna be doing this from the top and like trying to figure out what the words of the song are. There'll be words in this part. Like we'll get there. It's like, and we will order a drink in the meantime. All right, here we go. Sidle up to the bar. I gotta tell you something. Got you thinking about the rent, the bills, the grind, the drills, the work, the boss. Now you're counting out the cost. Your honeybee buzzing about the honey-do list. With the honey-do that, the honey-do this. Got the greenbacks, the Benjamins, the sales tax, you send them in. Deadlines, the bread lines, you're up and down and back again. Thank God there's a whiskey bar on Broadway. Oh my, there's a neon sign inside. Hot damn, there's a cold one coming my way. And we can make it feel alright if we can make it to that whiskey bar stress, the strain, the cold, the hot. She loves me not. The women are from Venus and the men are from Mars. The honor and the cherish and till death do us part. The in-laws, the old flames, the rugrats, the dating game. Your ex is the next kiss, you're off and on and back again. Thank God there's a whiskey bar on Broadway. Oh my, there's a neon sign inside. Inside. Hot damn, there's a cold one coming my way. And we can make it feel alright if we can make it to that whiskey bar tonight. Thank God there's a whiskey bar on Broadway. Oh my, there's a neon sign inside. Yeah, there's a neon sign inside. Hot damn, there's a cold one coming my way. You make it there, you can make it feel alright. I will make it feel right singing na 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 na. Na 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 na. Alright, yeah, we'll sing it just like that. Sing it. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Alright, yeah, good. I need a little round over here. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Alright, that's right. Hey! La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Alright.
And we're back. He's still
Hello,
here.
we're still here. We're still here.
He's still hanging on there with your last bit of
Yep.
battery.
Yeah.
We're coming towards the end anyway, chaps.
Right, okay.
So look, you know, I don't care about the politics of all of it, but it's a mad, mad world we live in at the moment. I'm sure we can all agree on that. So, crash transit, you know, what is your advice to your people, to your fans in this mad, mad world we live in?
Blimey. Stay safe, stay healthy. Don't take chances. Keep listening to good music and keep the faith.
Yeah, are we setting ourselves up by doing this?
No, not at all. I mean, you know, I said, you know, no politics involved. I think we can all agree that the world's just gone a little bit mad with viruses and all the stuff we've got going down.
It's all politics, and if the world could be, I'm about to say something so stupid, it's so right, but honestly, if the world could be crash,
Bless you.
The world could be crash transit.
They heard you in England.
We did.
Honestly, if the world could be crash transit, because we speak a language and it's music, and so we didn't notice that another good person that I'm standing next to was different than the other good person that I'm standing next to. The next person, it's like we understand that there's a struggle, that there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and a lot of corrections and a lot of change. But while you're making change, you hate the person next to you in order to speak your change.
Man, I couldn't agree. I couldn't agree. You know, I mean, we live in a wonderfully diverse world.
That was pretty stupid.
You can't speak your change and not acknowledge the people next to you.
Yeah.
It's like, so the cool thing about music is we all speak the same language, and if cat's burning, then he's burning.
Exactly, man. I agree. We live in such a wonderfully diverse world, and we need to celebrate that rather than tear it all down all the time. And this is what's wonderful. You know, you guys' music has, seriously, guys, it has been an inspiration throughout this lockdown. That's when Pete and I have reconnected. That's when he's reintroduced me to Crash Transit. And, you know, I don't care where you're from, what you do, or how you do it, but the music you make is bloody wonderful. And please keep doing it. And I'm so looking forward to this second album now. You've given me a few...
second album's going to be killed.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, you know, that's what I want to hear, guys. You know, keep with the music. The language is music.
The second album's going to be killer.
Yeah. If you like the first one, you wait to hear the second one.
Brace yourselves.
Yeah.
So I want to...
Thank you, Jimmy.
We're so next week we're doing this again, and next week the wonderful Station House joining us. It's a guy called Sam Kelly. Yeah, Sam Kelly and Rowena Paul are going to join us.
And Rowena Paul.
So that's going to be fun. We're going to be doing that next week in another special. I'm going to play out with one of their songs, but I do want to play this lockdown video if that's all right with you guys before we go.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
sure.
So this is lockdown. What I'll do is I'll play this. We'll come back. We'll toast to world peace and all that business, and say our goodbyes. And we'll play out with the Station House.
About to die, so if you come back and we've gone, don't worry about it.
Awesome, guys. In that case, let me say thank you so much for being wonderful. You've been absolute pleasure to talk to, informative, funny, and you play great music.
Can we do this again?
Whenever you want.
Great.
What are you doing tomorrow?
Guys, it's been absolutely good fun. Cheers to you.
Yes, this has been brought to you by the good people at Mug Root Beer.
Yeah, give them a plug.
And by the cardboard cutout of Jimmy Jerovac.
This is the lockdown video. Hopefully these guys will still be with us when we come back. We'll see what happens. Cheers, guys.
I'm so scared right now.
Cool if I stopped at
awesome. And you're still here. Yeah, awesome.
It's alive. Alive.
And we mentioned Status Joe, and you mentioned earlier Karen Bella
and Craving Strange.
Right. Ad Astra, which is like fusion band.
Ad Astra.
But as long as we're talking about Karen Bella, her album, her CD is out.
Yes.
Great stuff. Maybe get her on.
Well, I'll tell you what.
What?
Pete, why don't you send me some links? Send me some links.
Do not
see
know
what we can do. I don't know.
How about the Craving Strange?
I sent him a link to that.
I've heard. Yeah, Pete and I have spoken about this.
The Ethan Meixel band. Yeah, we got stuff for you.
We got stuff for you.
It's like, send it over. I'll play it. This is what we want. We want more new music. We want more new fun.
Like I said, brace yourselves.
Do you know what? It's so hard to find good new music in commercial ways these days. You know, it's taken a virus for me and Pete to reconnect, to find out who Crash Transit are. I mean, come on, guys. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, usually it's the other way around.
I think you might need to work on your advertising a bit. I'm just saying. But it's again, this comes back to that whole internet thing. The internet's a wonderful place because it allows anyone and everyone to share music. It's also a very bad place because it allows anyone and everyone to share music. And you end up getting lost in this massive hay pile.
I think that'll be the title for our third album.
Yeah,
It took a pandemic.
No, but hey, thank you for being a gatekeeper.
Yeah,
you're listening.
Thank you, Ian.
You're listening to music, and you are weeding out the weaklings.
I'm putting it out there.
And thank you for picking us as not the weaklings. And we look forward to sending you more really good music.
Oh, I'm looking forward to hearing it, guys. I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
What is wrong with you and Jimmy's shirt?
It's killing me.
Oh, man.
You sure it's Jimmy's shirt, not my shirt?
Damn!
God!
Did you get the links out there?
Yeah, I should do, shouldn't I?
Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Say your goodbyes to everyone. You've got loads of people in the chat.
Bye-bye, Kev. Bye-bye, Tim, and all the guys from the Bumbles Jam.
Share the toilet paper, will you?
And everybody else.
Don't hug it to yourselves.
And the Wolfpack. Goodbye to the Wolfpack if you're watching.
Back.
And wash your damn hands.
Wash your hands and wear your masks.
Exactly, do that. Right, we're going to play out with some Station House. These guys are joining me next week. See you later, guys. Thanks for joining us. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
I know that someone else has hurt you. I see the anger and the fear. Wasn't me who did those things. No, wasn't me who brought your tear. There's no truth behind the rumor. Smoky mirrors mostly lie. Doesn't matter when it hits you. Oh, only love can make you cry. Is it really any wonder I might try and love again? You know we all must take our chances. In the heart might win. Chances all I ask. You might see. I don't wanna take a prisoner. No, I just wanna set you free. Is it really any wonder that I might try and love again when we all must take our chances? Pray to God that we might win. I see you hurt, and I understand the fear. Wasn't me who did those things. No, wasn't me who brought your tears. Wasn't me who did those things. No, no, it wasn't me. Wasn't me who did those things. No, 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 it wasn't me. Wasn't me who did those things. No, no, wasn't me who brought your tears. wasn't me who did those things. No, no, wasn't me who brought your tears.